Guys, we just found the craziest thing right now. We are at the gates of hell.
I cannot believe what we just...
So we came up through there and there's a dead chicken in a bag with feathers everywhere. The gates of hell are down there, and apparently people come here to worship the devil and do sacrifices. I have actually come across people while I've been here.
So we're starting to get real sick of our house being haunted. I'm over it. Yep, me too. Because every day stuff keeps happening like this.
Nope.
And like this. And it's getting real frustrating. We have a pre-scheduled to come next Tuesday, but just last night when I was filming a TikTok, this happened.
You see what's happening? It's not even plugged in. It's not plugged in. This started happening while we were filming. I'm sick of this! This is the story about the blind woman who could see ghosts. So this girl who was blind at birth lived with her father on a single ranch house. So because she was blind at birth, she had spatial awareness. Pretty much she knew how far apart everything was based on what she touched. One day in the living room, the blind woman was talking to a ghost named Ellie. So Ellie said to the blind woman her name and asked her why her face was so messed up. So the blind woman then asked, "Why is my face messed up? What's wrong with it?" And at that point, the father then heard the conversation and snagged the blind woman out of the room and said, "Who were you talking to?" The blind woman then replied, "I was speaking to Ellie," and then the father laughed. Over the course of the next few months, the blind woman started speaking to over 13 ghosts. And each time she would speak, her father would get very, very upset at her for speaking to ghosts. So one day, the blind woman fell in the kitchen and had to call the paramedics. And once the paramedics arrived there, she asked, "Can my dad come with me to the hospital?" The paramedic then replied, "Your dad's been dead for 6 years."
Hello.
I'm going to be telling you the scary story of the house I lived in elementary and middle school. It was a 3-bedroom house, 1 bedroom in the basement and 2 bedrooms upstairs. Because I was the oldest, I got put in the bedroom in the basement. Right when we moved in, I already had creepy feelings about the house. I hated being downstairs by myself. One day I dropped a $20 bill behind my dresser. I decided to move my dresser all by myself, and behind the dresser was this door. It wasn't a normal door, it was really short and just squared. It was also glued off, so I couldn't get into it. Me and my neighbor, who were best friends, worked at it for days to get into it. We finally got it open, and inside was another room. It was almost like an underground attic. The walls were wooden, the ceiling was wooden, there was no carpet, but it smelled awful. My parents found out and they were super mad at me for opening the room. They of course put that dresser in front of that door for a reason because they knew I would explore it.
Yo, wake up. What? Dude, something's breaking.
What?
Something's breaking, bro.
Whoa, what do you think happened, bro? Come on.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, let's go. This old lady killed so many people. Baba Anushka, she loved chemistry. And when her husband died, she was like, "I'm gonna make the house into a laboratory and sell potions." So a bunch of girls came to her and they were like, "We don't want our husbands to go to war." And she was like, "I can make them really, really sick so they don't have to." And they were like, yeah, do that. So she started getting really, really popular. But then all the girls were like, "We actually don't like our husbands. Can you do a little more?" And Baba Anushka was like, "Yeah, I can kill them." So then all the girls were like, "Oh, we like this." So Baba Anushka made these deadly potions, gave them to the girls gave them to their abusive husbands, and they were dead in like 8 days. And Baba Anushka would do this thing where she'd ask the girls, "How heavy is the problem?" which was code for, "How heavy is your husband? Because I gotta make sure I put enough in it, mama." She was so successful that she hired a sales agent to go into town and like sniff out people with marital problems. But this one girl fucked it all up. After she killed her shitty husband, she used another potion to kill her new husband's rich uncle. And the police were like, "Can you explain this?" And she was like, "It was Baba Anushka." Baba Anushka was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But she ended up getting out of jail and then living to 100.
This is why you should never play hide and seek. A mom decided to play hide and seek with her 2 kids. The mom began counting, "Ready or not, here I come." She begins searching the downstairs kitchen because she knows that they hide there every single time. As she's walking to the kitchen, she starts saying, I wonder where they are. She looks under the table and sees they aren't there, which is kind of odd. She knew they were too scared to go into the basement alone, but she decided to check anyway. They weren't there either. She began to panic. The mom then says, "Jordan, Casey, come out now. Mommy's not playing anymore." There was no answer. Panic really begins to set in. She decides to call 911 and reaches an operator. She tells the operator what's wrong and the operator sends an officer to her house. Once the officer arrives, he says, "Don't worry, we will find them." As she's sitting in the living room, she hears giggling and laughing and hears a closet door slam upstairs. She sprints upstairs and says, "Jordan, Casey, you worried me sick." She opened the closet door and nobody was there. While all of this is going on, she hears the doorbell ring. She runs downstairs and finds the officer holding Jordan and Casey. The officer says they were hiding in the shed out back. Then Jordan looks at mommy and says, "Why were you telling us to stay in the shed?"